Good morning, everybody. Going to dive into the real estate market. I'm kind of excited about this one. I like doing things in the moment. I think we can capture a lot more attention that way. Unfortunately, guys, as you're commenting, I can jump back and forth, but I've only got one monitor, so I'm going to go ahead and let this out there. I may not see some of the comments till afterwards, but I'm going to give you guys my first impression. I've not reviewed this data. This will be the first time I've looked at it, same as first time that you guys have looked at it. Let's take a little look at what's going on here. Let's actually leave this like this because I don't know it's going to work the other way. So this data right here, we're going to take a look at this orange line, or forgive me, I'm colorblind, but this is the national line. And these blue markers are our local lines for what we're dealing with right now. So let's go ahead and screw this down a little bit here just for Hernando County. So guys, looking at the total listing count, as you can see, we have actually been on a slight decline for the total number of homes for sale, including active pending listings per month, and national average has been going up. I do think that here in Florida, people tend to be a little happier, and maybe that's part of this, is why they're hanging on. And I would love for your guys' comments here, what you think this amounts to. I do think it's interesting that we have a decline in total number of homes for sale, and the rest of the market is actually on the incline of that. Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think of that because I don't have it real grounded. I'm not going to stay very long there because I'm doing this in live time. I'm looking at the data with you guys. Not 100% sure what I believe around that. Get the center here. So active listing count, the curve has been similar, right? Like decline, 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 starting to rise little by little. I would say that ours is naturally knocked down a little bit on this because this is the number of homes actively for sale per month, excluding pending listings. So our inventory throughout this whole thing has continued to remain stable, which is a good thing, right? But the reason we're seeing it go up in other areas means that the inventory is actually climbing in those areas, which is better for the buyers, which in certain areas, like in our area in particular, I could use a few more homes that sit on the market because there's still a little bit of heat that comes in certain price points. But as you can see here locally, our inventory is much more stable than other areas. Other areas are climbing pretty quickly. This is looking at a national average. So what we got next here? So new listing count. Let's see where we're at. So we've been fairly stable. We were on a sharp decline up until December, which is seasonality. Also has to do with the interest rates dropping just before June of last year, or interest rates going up, sorry. Naturally, new listings went down from that point because the people who are selling are typically buying. Why would I give up a 3 to 4% interest rate to go into a 5, 6, 7% interest rate? So I think that those two things definitely have something to do with each other. But in our area, we have remained very stable since February for new listing count. While everybody else was increasing drastically to come to a sharp decrease, looks like sometime in, what is that, May? When I think through that, I think in our area especially, a lot of people got that interest rate and happy, right? So there's a little bit of constance there. And hopefully here in Florida, we've got stable jobs where there's not tremendous need to sell our house. But pretty interesting to see there that the rest of the country has seen a sharp decline, which makes sense. Homes are on the market, staying on the market a little bit longer, less incentive to sell your house, especially walking into the higher interest rate. But here, yeah, we're seeing a little decline. So I think that that's kind of cool. We were seeing stability, which means there's confidence in the market, the way that I see that. Because they actually can sell their house instead of letting it sit on the market. So pending listing count, pretty on par here. The national average, this part right here, we obviously had a lot more stability through the tougher months last year than the rest of the country. Again, high demand area, especially Hernando County, because for affordability, there's a lot of people that come here for affordability compared to going to So that part I can believe in. But from January forward, very similar with the curve on the national average. They've gone up, kind of stable is what I would call all of this. I mean, there's a sharp increase here in February, which is because of the seasonality. We're past the holidays. Yeah, good luck there. And guys, please drop them in the comments. I'll get to this afterwards. I'm on my other screen, so I can't see any comments that are there. But I'd love to know your impressions of this. All right, so median list price, very similar curves here. I know it looks a little jumbled, jumping all over the place. Now, the one piece I'll say here is, as of late, from June to July, national average is actually coming down. Here in Hernando County, we are still on the improve, but it looks like we're going to start to see some stability on that. Again, guys, that has a lot to do with how many homes are for sale and how many buyers are out there. Because if you have more new homes hitting the market than you have buyers unfulfilled, you're going to see your inventory start to rise. And just as we've seen in the inventory, there is enough demand to knock down our inventory and keep it kind of stable. Question is, how long does that last before all of those buyers are fulfilled? And then we wait for the people who are waiting on different aspects, if they can. Median list price per square foot. This should mirror that last screen as it pretty well does. And again, it's just verifying that we're finding increases as we go along the way, while the rest of the country is starting to decrease a little bit there. Little confidence inside of our area. Median days on market. I mean, right on cue with national average, which is interesting because you would think that some of these other factors would have a different influence on the median days on market in the rest of the country. This particular slide is very interesting to me because I would not expect the national average to mirror what we have going on here locally. And number of homes with price reductions, fairly consistent. Fairly consistent with the rest of the data. Looking here recently, we have seen an uptick nationally. We have seen an uptick here locally. And this, I would say, has to do with pricing up front. Still some adjustment happening for sellers and for agents in their communication of it. We are not in the same market. We are not in a super aggressive market where your home's going to sell over list and appraised value doesn't matter. And I don't know that we'll be coming back into that. Now, if you have a really nice remodeled home in like the 270 range or the 300 range, yeah, you're probably going to get multiple offers to work out pretty well. But for the most part, even homes in the 300 range are not immaculate and fully remodeled. So those are sitting on the market a little longer, and the same as our higher price points. And when that happens, you have to reduce price to create urgency again. The home's just going to sit there stagnant, and we're in a market where if a home has 40, 50 days on market, people do get a little more nervous and there's going to be less buyers. More buyers are asking, what's the question here? Like, what's wrong? What is happening with this home? Why isn't it selling? And pricing up front is becoming extremely important, which is relying on the agent and also the seller to be open-minded that we're not in the same market. Months of inventory. So as you can see, guys, like we have stayed very stable here for the last 6 months or so. The rest of the country is going up pretty drastically, and they're well above us in terms of months of inventory. But we are seeing a slight little increase there where they're sitting up. But guys, 1.6 months of inventory is very low inventory. Great for selling and just enough options for buyers. There's a nice little window here. All right, so that kind of sums that up. Guys, I hope you got something out of this. I hope that this is helping you. Let's see if I can remove this. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions, any comments, I couldn't look over here at the comments, so actually there are none. So we don't have to worry about that part. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys have a blessed Labor Day.